How can a relationship built on lies last? That is a great question. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. So today I'm answering a question that was asked. I'll give you the exact question. It says, the other woman can keep my soon-to-be ex-cheating husband, but curious how a relationship based on deception lasts. I think this is a fantastic question, and so it's for anyone, I suppose, whose narcissist has moved on to new supply, a new woman, new victim, and you are wondering, well, how can it last, or how long can it last, and can it last? And the answer is, well, the answer is a tricky one. As usual, when it comes to narcissists, all things are slightly tricky. So the first point I want to make out is a relationship that is built on lies can actually last because, stop and think about this, right? If the narcissist is lying to the new supply and the new supply is lying to themselves, so there's this kind of delusional reality occurring where everyone's pretending things that aren't really real, and everyone's acting as though the fake, this fake and false pretense, as though it's an actual real thing. So it's, that has the potential to last for quite a long time if both parties are prepared to lie to themselves and to lie to each other. But this doesn't mean that, first of all, I wouldn't even call that a relationship. I would call that, like I said, a mutual delusion. I'd call it a situation where one party, i.e. the narcissist, is using the other party and telling them that they're in a relationship, but they're not really, and the narcissist just does whatever they want, whenever they want, with whomever they want, and the new supplier turns a blind eye. Now, just imagine that. Like, seriously, imagine that. We all talk about, relationships being successful and lasting. But, just because someone spends time together, they could spend 30 years, 40 years together. But does that actually mean that that was a successful or happy marriage or relationship? Or does it just mean, they spent all that time together and she cried herself to sleep, every night, wondering when he was coming home, wondering whose bed he was in. That's the reality for some of these people. The narcissist gets up to all kinds of things, and yet, for whatever reason, the supply or the new supply turns a blind eye. So that's the short version, is yes, it can last. But once again, it doesn't mean that it's happy. It doesn't mean that it's successful. And once the mutual delusion is breached by one person, so all it's going to take is one of the two to go, well, this isn't really real. And then the whole thing comes crumbling down. That's the reality. That's what happened to me. That's what's probably happened to you. And that's what will happen with the new supply. At some point, at some point, the new supply or the supply source is just going to snap out of it and realize this isn't love, this isn't real, this is just some weird thing that I'm trapped in. And once they've made that, had that reality shift, then the whole thing will just come falling down. And what's really fascinating is that the narcissist is actually, they're so, when you're in a situationship with them, they're so, they kind of hold it up so that you don't leave. They kind of hold up the relationship and say things like, it means so much to them, and we're soulmates, and this is we're married, or this is forever. They kind of, there's this this spell that they cast over us that makes us feel like, oh, we should put up with their bullshit. We should put up with their lies and their sneaking around and the confusion and the chaos that they bring to our lives because, we are forever. We are soulmates. But like I said, when you actually realize that that's just an illusion and you snap out of it, the narcissist will spin around on a dime and say you meant nothing anyhow. You know, I mean, or like I heard my ex-husband say about the woman that came before me. You know, he basically tried to deny, you know, a 7-year relationship by saying that he was just drunk the whole time. I mean, that's how, you know, how quickly they will turn on the relationship. So, long story short, relationships built on lies can last as long as both parties uphold the lie. And as soon as one of them admits that it's not real, the whole thing will unravel. So, which is why a lot of them, like I said, you know, will last longer than the relationship that came before them, purely almost out of spite, just to prove, you know, that it was worth breaking up a marriage for, or, you know, that it was better than the relationship that they had before. You know, it's quite literally, I mean, I'm really not joking when I say this, out of spite, you know, just to prove that, you know, what they had is real. It was worth breaking up a marriage for. You know, they have to prove that to themselves and each other. So expect that the relationship will last longer than it did with you, even if it's only by a few days, weeks or months, you know. But yeah, they can build and keep relationships going based on lies. That is just what narcs do. Everything they have and do is a lie. So there you go. All right, lovelies, thanks for listening, and I'm going to link some other videos here about the narcissist and the relationship with the new supplier, because I know a lot of you are kind of really interested in seeing how it's going to all play out. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be, you know, it's not pretty. All right.